Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. My name is DZ. We come to you Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and no channel's working harder to keep you in the know when it comes to crypto. Today, we're going to be talking about your favorite topics with your favorite guests. We're going to go start on the top right with, he's somewhere in a music studio in a hidden location. It is Matty B, also known as Piano Matty B. Make sure you follow his content, the funniest TA content out there. Then on the bottom right, holding down, he's used to the red carpet, but today's in front of a blue screen. It is Altcoin Daily. Then on the bottom left, I just learned his nickname. It is Timbo Slice, and come for a little slice of that TA knowledge, and he's happily serving it up on his channel. And, of course, on the top left, can they break his streak of one? So far, it has been Armstrong holding it down. He was telling us about the Northern Lights, the actual thing in the sky, you degens. But we're going to be talking about the rate hike and what does it mean and what is Bitcoin reacting like. Also, has there just been a stable ban on algorithmically stable coins? Maybe. And what does that mean? And also, huge leak in the gaming industry, maybe the biggest gaming leak of all time. And then, of course, Bitcoin is involved with ransom. But before we do those topics, let's look at the crypto market and see where things are heading. Slightly in the negative, but it is super, super close. I almost want to refresh just because it is that close. Yeah, you can see it barely down 0.08%, less than 0.1%. And Ethereum, though, look at Ethereum down 17% on the week, pushing 20% losses for the 7-day there. All right. Piano Matty B, we're going to talk about the Fed minutes and, the interest rate hikes and what does it mean, but how did Bitcoin react? And because we saw massive 1-minute candles and then it, kind of slowed down. What's Bitcoin looking like and what's the near term looking like to you?
Well, I always think that these big events are more just like a shake-up. Everyone wants something to happen, so they're locked and loaded to see some big moves. But, I mean, ultimately, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it comes back and just floats back to almost where it started. I think it's at 18.9 right now. That's essentially kind of where we left off before. It started to make it either goes a little bit down and then bumps up, or it goes up and it bumps down. But, I mean, I think these things are nothing burgers in general. We're where we were. And, we're all better for it, I suppose.
I like that take. We want something to happen. Doesn't necessarily mean something's going to happen. Of course, we're talking about everyone trading Jerome Powell's remarks. They raised interest rates for 0.75, the third consecutive time they have raised it at that level. And this puts us at the highest level since, I want to say, the late 80s. No, so they started, it's the most unprecedented spike since the 80s. So we're going back 40 years since we've seen pressure like this. We started essentially zero and now we're above 3%, all just in the course of a little over a year. Now, Ben, I want to ask you about his remarks here because I'm smelling some bull pie here. He insists, this is from Jerome Powell. He insists the central bank will not be swayed by political pressure to take its foot off the brake prematurely. Do you think there's going to be any political pressure leading up to the elections, and do you think it will sway, or is he going to stick by his words and he won't be swayed by the politicians here?
I'll be honest with you. Anyone who understands anything in politics knows that the House and the Senate are going to swing the other way. All the politicians know it. The people in the appointed positions know it. Look, when the economy is in the gutter, this is the worst it's been since 2008, the second worst it's been in my lifetime. It's going to swing the other way. That's what always happens. And so I think they know that. So I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of political pressure. I think Joe Biden knows exactly what's going to happen. Now, look, certainly it could go the other way, I guess. Like, it's possible. But traditionally, if you just look at history, the economy is the number one factor in determining the direction of the elections. And it's bad right now. And so, and what's really bad, and look, you can say this about Trump as well. So this is not really a partisan thing. Trump had the House and the Senate, and he got basically nothing accomplished. When you look at Biden, he's got the House and the Senate, and he's basically done nothing since he's been in office. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of moles working there, even on your own political party side. Because here's the shocking truth: politicians barely want to get anything done. All they want to do is run on re-election, and the more things that they push forward, the more that could affect the economy or whatever sector they're interested in, and then they could be held liable by their own party or whatever the case may be. They want things to move at a snail's pace. That's what they want. So when a president has the House and Senate, then you think, oh, they've got it all. They can move forward. But no, even the people in their own party don't want things to get done. And, there's certainly some things that Joe Biden's done. There's some things that Trump did and got passed, but they meet friction at all points. And so I think they all know that. I don't think we're going to see a lot of political pressure put on the Fed for this. Basically, what the administration does, they just tried to mince words and try to make everything seem not as bad as it is. Like, we changed the numbers, guys. It's not a recession. Well, inflation's not as bad as people think it is. Well, you know what? Most people, they're not really that concerned about inflation. They're concerned about other stuff while they buy an $8 gallon of milk and a $5 gallon of gas. So I think that ultimately what we're going to see here is that, we are going to see the Fed, I believe, stop the rate hikes in December regardless. It's going to be after the midterm elections. I can see the November 1st meeting potentially not doing a rate increase because of how that rate increase may specifically affect the elections that are the following Monday after that. So, we'll just have to wait and see how it all shakes out. But that's kind of how that's what I think we're going to see. I don't think political pressure is going to be put on them. Look, there's only one more meeting, right? Is there one more meeting? Well, there's one in December, but there's one more before the election.
One more before the election. And yeah, I kind of share the same thesis. I think they're going to, really, really have this hardline stance until the one the week before, just because of the maximum pressure there. Now, Tim, I was talking to Frankie Candles. Shout out to Frankie Candles, Candle Mafia. If you're watching, hit that like button, by the way. And we saw a 1 minute candle with a 6% price change. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, we were
immediately
we were watching that. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I was just going to say, what are do you have any advice or general just rules that you go by when it comes to trading these highly watched events, these highly volume? I looked at the 10-minute candle. It was the largest volume in over a month. I couldn't really move TradingView back enough for the 1 minute or the 5 minute, but massive amount of volumes on this news. What advice do you have for people saying, hey, man, there's opportunity here. I think I can trade my way out of this?
Yeah. First thing is, I would say we told all our guys, prepare for volatility. It happens every single time. Go back and look at all the times. Every single time we have something announced like this, you're going to have some volatility. I think the other thing that we're looking at right now with being so low, down there around lower, 19,000, hovering right there in 18. A couple days ago, we were down all the way to 18,000. I think what you kind of just saw play out in that minute candle was a bunch of built up frustration about the downside of Bitcoin over the last couple of months and the fact that it hasn't done anything. And we were waiting for 75 and we got it. And there was some built up frustration there. People went ahead and went all out on things. But here's where I think is more interesting. And I have to say, I'm going to have to do it on his show. Ben, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong about your predictions about these next couple interest rate hikes. What was really interesting that happened during the press conference was he was very clear that by the end of this year, a lot of the people in the group actually believe that we need to increase by another 125 points, right? We have 2 more meetings to do so. There are certain people that think it only needs to be 100, but guess what that leaves at? Unless one of these meetings they plan on going a monstrous full 100 basis points or even going to 125, you have 2 more meetings to split up. More than likely, we know the inflation is out of control, and it sounds like for the first time in a long time, I guess he did talk about it Jackson Hole, but Jerome Powell's very aware inflation is a big problem, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get rid of it. What we know, though, is that it's 125 points, 100 points, that they got to split up between 2 meetings. I am fully anticipating, first of all, that 75 basis points is the new 25. I think people are going to start getting used to it. Is it painful? Yes, it is. But when we're looking at these assets, one of the things you got to realize is people are always looking at this and saying, I just want to know what is happening. Is it painful? Is it not painful? So I can start making moves. 75 is new 25. I expect us to do 75 in November, and then in December, it's kind of a wait and see. Do we need to do 25? Do we need to do 50? Is it even worse? We're going to do more than 125, go all the way to 150. But what I thought was so cool, and here's, even though I wish, Ben, I really wish we would have no interest rate hike. That would be really nice for the price of crypto. But what Jerome Powell did help us with in this meeting is give us a playbook on what the next couple of years looks like. We know that they want to end this year sitting somewhere between 425 and 450 in total. We're currently sitting at 3 to 325. What we could see potentially is, next year they want to end closer to 550, which means in all of next year, they're only talking about an additional 100, maybe 125 on top of this year, giving us that roadmap. I think it'll finally allow some investors to get some clarity on what the future looks like. And guess what? That could mean the price goes down, but ultimately, that's what causes the markets to go berserk, is when there's unknown things happening and they come out of nowhere. When Terra Luna crashed, that came out of nowhere. It crippled the markets. Maybe someone predicted it, but the masses didn't predict it. When we had this debacle with Celsius and everything else, that came out of nowhere. Maybe someone predicted it, but it was a surprise. Now that we see what Jerome Powell is saying, if people are paying attention, he's kind of giving us the playbook. And yes, it looks painful, but at least we know at this point.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And volatility is, I guess, definitely that key takeaway when you are, trying to trade those high-level events. Now, Altcoin Daily, couple questions. One, when it comes to your dating life, is 75 the new 25? And also, more serious question, can the Bitcoin cycle work as intended as long as we have these 75 basis point pushes? Let's say we move more than 125 over the next year. What is the Bitcoin cycle going to look like? Is it going to be similar to 2020 where the March crash kind of reset us? And many are saying, kind of screwed up the whole price ranges that we would have been looking at. Do you see a similar situation playing out here?
First off, DZ, thanks for having me on the channel. Love the hoodie. And yes, dating-wise, 75 is the new 25. Nothing wrong with an older lady. They can teach you a lot.
Yeah, I heard you have a congresswoman in your state. She has a lot of money, man.
I don't like to, we don't know. We don't know what I have in my state. Neither does a lot of the Californians. But representative-wise, I would like some younger people in office. DZ, let's get down to brass tacks. What was your Fed question?
Can the Bitcoin cycle survive and work as intended as long as they keep pushing these interest rates? Is it going to screw up the whole cycle? I mean, are we still going to have gains, 4 years after the last level, or 3 years and 10 months?
Long-term, nothing is stopping Bitcoin. I'm talking, decade trading, not day trading. Jerome Powell said in his speech today, we anticipate that ongoing increases will be appropriate, signaling that he's not stopping at this 75 basis point one today, and that they're strongly committed to getting back down to 2% inflation, which today seems outrageous because they've been ultra aggressive in raising rates, and inflation has hardly been tapered, if at all. It really hasn't been tapered. So will it ruin the 4-year cycle? I think it'll be perfect for the 4-year cycle, just because, and for the audience at home, every 4 years, while Bitcoin only has 21 million coins in existence, every 4 years, the supply faucet gets cut in half, and a price of any asset is just supply and demand. So if the demand a couple of years from now is the exact same for Bitcoin as what we're seeing today, and all of a sudden the supply faucet gets cut in half, then that is bullish for the Bitcoin asset. Now, I can totally see the Federal Reserve tapering rate or hiking rates, for the rest of this year into next year. The halving happens at 2024. Usually we see a pump, 12 months later. So 2025 could be the perfect storm. Time will tell, but nothing is stopping Bitcoin long term.
All right, I like that bullish scenario. Yeah, 2024. Yeah, currently looking like early 24. Of course, it is a variable rate with how quickly the blocks get solved. But yeah, I like the scenario. Downward pressure, perfect timing for the halving. Buckle up, everybody. I guess Moons and Lambo soon. All right, let's talk algo stablecoin, the opposite of Lambo. These coins just kind of stay the same, or in many cases, crash to zero. Sorry, too soon for some. Talking about Lunar, of course, the Luna ecosystem here. Now, they have a bill in Congress, and they want to ban algorithmically stablecoins from existing for 2 years. They want a 2-year moratorium here. Now, prior versions of the bill was going to say, if you are going to have a stablecoin, you must have one-to-one backed assets behind. The latest draft is currently sitting with a committee chair right now. So there's steps that are going to take place where maybe the bill is going to tweak its language. So all hope is not lost just yet here. Now, Maddie, we say, on this macro level that, we don't like uncertainty. And then regulators, they're coming out right now and saying, hey, we want to actually provide a little clarity here. We want to provide some certainty here to stablecoins specifically. Is this bullish news? I mean, is this the dream that we've been waiting for? Is this the first step?
No. I think anytime these psychopaths want to get involved, inevitably they're going to do more damage than they would. I'd be surprised if they actually get anything done because they're so slow paced. But when it comes to algorithmic stablecoins, you got to look at the history. Like, do they have a stellar track record? You know, would you want to bring them home to your mom and introduce them? This is my good friend or my new girlfriend, this algorithmic stablecoin. I wouldn't. I stick to just keeping it simple with a normal stablecoin pegged to the US dollar. Even at that, that's basically the best loser in the bunch. But I every time they come in, I run to the hills. I mean, I don't want them coming in. This is the crypto. It's scary. You got to do your research. You got to protect yourself. No one's out there to save you. So don't get into something that you're not too sure about. You want to get algorithmic stablecoins. Educate yourself before you get in there. I wouldn't, but I'm me. I just play the piano. What do I know, DZ?
I don't know, but I do know this. Hit that like button if you think you saw Sasquatch. May have seen something there. All right, Ben. You know, I'm going to ask you to put on your mind reading cap here. You know, I think you gained some shaman-esque powers when you're in Alaska, so this might be right up your alley. What do you think the actual motive is for this legislation? Is it to prevent a terror? You know, I don't even want to fill your head with ideas. Why do you think that they're passing this or trying to pass this?
I'll tell you what. Look, I think that right now, stablecoins are obviously in the crosshairs of regulators. They don't like stablecoins because what they tend to do is they seem to tempt less risk-averse people to get into crypto, to try to make returns or whatever the case may be. If you feel like you can move in and out of trades very quickly, you have a stable asset, then it makes things a little bit easier. So, you know, they want to go after stable coins in general. I think this is really part of the plan, ultimately, to knock out all stable coins but USDC, make USDC the new world reserve currency. Basically, it will be the digital dollar. And basically, people will be out there trading with the digital dollar instead of other stable coins. I think that's ultimately the goal. I think that's what they want to do. There's a lot of evidence, you know, Circle is behind, Circle and Goldman Sachs are behind USDC along with Coinbase. So you got the major players from the bank world. You got the major players from the payments world, the major players from crypto all involved in this. I think that's what we're going to see. But look, I mean, algorithmic stablecoins, what's the point really? Like, what is the point of these algorithmic stablecoins? Like, we're just trying to show how smart we are, that we can make a new way to make a cool coin stable. I think that ultimately, what are they used for? They're used for staking. Well, you can use USDC for staking. And what we saw is when you were using UST, it was unrealistic. You didn't actually get any of your money back because the asset depreciated like 99.9%. And so you were all stuck holding the bag unless you took the profits off. So I think that what people really need to be looking at here is that people do not need to be looking at this in terms of, oh, it's dangerous. They're trying to put a ban on algorithmic stablecoins. Because I'll be honest with you, I give a flip about algorithmic stablecoins. They've been nothing but bad on the market, in my opinion. But where does this end, and how does this lead to them maybe stifling Tether or stifling other, like if you stifle Tether, now you're stifling the Tron version of Tether and the Ethereum version of Tether and every single possible version of Tether that's out there, the BNB version. And so it could have a lot of implications down the road, especially for the international crowd that use Tether more. They use USDC. In America, I'm very confident USDC is used more than Tether. I'm not sure about how much, but Tether used a lot more internationally. So I think ultimately they're going to be trying to come after other stable coins as well. Maybe the Binance, BUSD, maybe they try to come after that. I think that's the end game is what I'd be more concerned with than the actual ban of algorithmic stable coins. And every time the government steps up and tries to ban something or put restrictions on something, we should be very leery of it, whether or not we feel like what they're banning is good or bad, because you really got to watch the snowball and how it gets bigger and bigger rolling down a hill. If they can easily ban an algorithmic stablecoin, then it might be really easy for them to ban Tether. Well, then it might be really easy for them to ban BUSD. Then why not just Binance Coin? Where does it end? I think that's the thing people really need to pay attention to right now.
Yeah, definitely a slippery slope. And just so, to your first point, what is the point? In a perfect world, and we're not there yet, and obviously no one solved the issue, you can have a stablecoin exist with only smart contracts on the blockchain, no human intervention needed. It's buying, it's selling the underlying assets, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, whatever. But clearly the
But
tech
they haven't
isn't
worked
there
yet.
yet.
They haven't worked
yeah,
yet.
it isn't there yet.
worked
All right, Altcoin Daily. A lot of people spell out this scary scenario with stablecoins where they will force you to spend your money. Hey, you got your paycheck, and now you got 14 days to spend your funds, basically eliminating the need to save or the ability to save money. Do you agree with this scary narrative? Do you think this is something that is going to happen? And if so, how do we fight it?
And the technical answer is yes. Technically, in the far future, something like that could happen. Of course, that's why we have Bitcoin or decentralized assets. Nothing is more centralized than some of these stablecoins and even some of these, the companies behind the stablecoins. For me personally, with this algorithmic stablecoin ban, in the past, just with stablecoins in general, I always thought if the regulators want to sink their teeth into stablecoins, do it. You guys can have it. Nothing is more centralized than those stablecoins originally. Now, like you just said, the hope someday is that we can have just a total stablecoin that's just protocol, not controlled by any centralized unit. And we haven't had that yet, but that's the goal. So my point in all this, DZ, my point is, the US can ban it if they want, but that's not going to stop innovation. That's going to stifle innovation in the US. It'll be pushed off shores. Even if Europe, even if China follow, innovation will happen. It's just going to slow way down and also take the US out of the running to maybe, be a part of history and inventing this new technology. And I was going to say one more thing, DZ.
Well, you bring up a good point. I think it's just going to be adoption, and we spend some of these decentralized currencies. Dang it. I know Tom Crown's going to like this, but I guess I have to market buy Litecoin and buy some AMC tickets, or market buy some Doge and buy some Dallas Mav tickets, because that seems to be the way to stop it, I guess. Go ahead.
And the one thing I was going to say, and I like that, Tom Crown, if you're watching, let us know. Also, even if the U.S. did ban algorithmic stablecoins, can't then somebody in the US or somebody offshore, even if somebody offshore started making something called, hey, this is a reserve coin. Mm-hmm. This is a coin that's stable by some other name. The US can keep banning certain protocols all they want, but because the innovation's global, all over the world, anybody that can write code can technically do this, for better or for worse. They can call it something else. This innovation isn't stopping. They could just slow it down.
All right, and Crypto Billy giving Altcoin Daily a shout out. Great guys, follow them. Wait, there's two of you? All right, last question on this, Tim. I hate keep painting you in this trading corner, but it was either a trading question or coffee, and I went with trading here. When you see algorithmically stablecoin or even a regular stablecoin lose its peg, we've had people in the office get involved with, UST. I'm not going to name names, but me and Justin Williams, we convinced this person to sell at a loss. I think it was 92 cents. After they staked, they made 1 or 2% because they were staking for a while at 20%. They walked away, initially, they see that the coin is down 8%. They kind of felt bad. We were like, sell, sell, sell. They thanked us after the fact. Do you have people come to you saying, hey, this stable coin is under $1. I want to ape in, or this stable coin is trading at 11 cents. It's going to be $1 soon. Do you say good idea, bad idea? Do you touch it? Are you all over this, or are you not touching with a 10-foot pole?
It's funny you say that, DZ. I was about to say when you first asked questions, like, no, I don't get questions. Then I remembered, oh yeah, no, there was one. I can't remember the name of it. There was a stable coin that dropped by 90-something%. And there's somebody who was like, if I had just bought in because it ended up getting repaid, it went back up. They're like, I would have made so much money. I was like, there's no freaking way you would ever know. If it gets depegged and if it starts crashing like that, is there a chance it gets back? Absolutely. But after what we just saw happen with Terra Luna, those are not things I suggest playing with whatsoever. It kind of goes to a similar scenario when you're talking about trading in general. I told someone even today on the show, I was telling my audience, I was like, you need to learn how to eliminate the word perfect from your vocabulary of trading. You are not going to get perfect bottoms and you are not going to get perfect tops. The best traders know that. The best word to use is good. And so let's get that exact same scenario. Technically speaking, some of these depegged stable coins, if you were to buy it and it gets goes back, you could make some good money and that would be perfect. But is that a good decision? Is that a good investment? No. I'm very clear with. I've had another person even on our team. I had to kind of sit down and give them some wise counsel. Let's say you succeed doing something terrible once or maybe even twice. Now you just open up this whole pathway to terrible decision making that you think's going to work out, and you're going to get burned by it long term. I would actually rather make a failed trade doing the right things and reading the market the right way, and I just didn't get that one, than win the wrong way, because I'm going to learn a lifetime. This is not about short-term trades. This is not about one trade here and I'm set for life. I want to set myself up for a lifetime of great trading opportunities, and you do that by chasing good things. You don't do that by chasing perfect.
All right, and let's get into our last topic here. It is the biggest game leak in history. Grand Theft Auto leak just happened overnight, and is saying it is a 16-year-old from the UK, Teapot Tuber hacker, famous hacker. Unfortunately, he had previously hacked, allegedly, the FBI, amongst others. So this guy, he has a long history, even at the age of 16. I predict there'll be a movie about this kid at one day. But 9 years to the day that Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, nearly 100 videos and screenshots were leaked of the sequel here. I shared one. We're not going to show off any footage. We're not a video game channel here, but yeah, that's a little screenshot. I'll say it looks pretty good. Rockstar Games, they have confirmed the hack, and then afterwards, the supposed hacker was asking for funds in the 5 figures. Now, there has been a Bitcoin, a wallet associated with the hack, but the hacker himself is saying, this is not me. These are people, they got they fell for it. There's over $100,000 in Bitcoin. Now, whether or not it is his, this is all psyops. We don't know. Again, this is a 16-year-old supposedly. So, just take all this news with a grain of salt here. Oh, the other company, they'd also previously hacked Uber. So yeah, some serious moves here by this guy. Matty B, we're going to keep this a little bit brief since we're running a little long on time. Bitcoin brought in yet again. They're trying to point the finger, saying Bitcoin helps enable this. Bitcoin allows hackers to hack GTA, allows them to hack electrical systems, allows them to maybe even hack electoric system. Who knows what they're allowing them to hack? I don't know how Bitcoin does it, but it definitely helps with the payment of the hacker. Is Bitcoin getting yet another black eye from this, or is this another reason for gamers to hate us, or are they just going to ignore this and say, yeah, this isn't Bitcoin's fault?
Well, I'm not a big gamer, DZ, but I think you got to give credit where credit's due. This kid's 16 years old, and he's already on the FBI most wanted list. I mean, that's pretty spectacular.
That's a good word. I'll give it spectacular.
I don't think that anyone in the crypto environment ever hears these things and goes, oh my God, Bitcoin has been added again. It's just used by, everyone knows that Bitcoin is not used by criminals. And if you are, you're the worst criminal ever, because it's just transparent. You can see it all. So basically the dummies hear this and they're like, oh my God, I'm staying out of crypto for good. That's it. That. If a 16-year-old can do it, I'm out. I don't buy it.
All right. Now, altcoin, was there a way for them to spin this as a white hat hacker? Could he have maybe kept this private and got even more money? Or do you think Rockstar would still want the FBI involved? They still want to throw the book at this kid?
I think they could have, until everything went public and half the data leaked on the forums. So that ship sailed a long time ago. But yeah, like Matty B was saying, only an idiot would use Bitcoin in criminal transactions. There's nothing more public. There's no other bigger open network of that size around. That's why the regulator should love something like Bitcoin as opposed to stablecoins. You can censor. Cash is way more private. Monero way more private. But it has to be a total noob to use Bitcoin. So we'll see. I'd love for him to come on the program anonymously around the blockchain.
Yeah,
and
we'll disguise his voice. We'll give him the silhouette. We'll do all the things. Tim, have you ever played Grand Theft Auto? Any of them?
I have not, DZ, and
all right.
I think there's going to be
whoa. Okay, that's actually pretty shocking. Do you think that this will affect the sales, or are they just not going to care? Like, I don't care. I saw the footage 2 years early. I'm still playing. I want to go punch ladies of the night and drive around in my car.
Yeah, no, obviously you don't want your company being hacked. You got to deal with that. I actually wondered at first, we actually talked about this a little bit around our studio, and I was like, is this going to be something similar to where, you guys remember where Tom Holland kept spoiling things for the MCU, and it actually led to bigger ratings and better ratings? Was this planned the way I'm pretty sure Tom Holland spoils were planned? No, I don't think this was planned. I think this was a slip up. But I think it's actually bringing attention and could potentially be long-term bullish. I mean, for a company that's doing video games, it could actually be a boost and derives attention and even more desire to purchase that game. The fact that this happened.
All right, Ben, there were rumors Grand Theft Auto was going to involve crypto with the 6th game. Does this change the plans by any chance?
No, I don't think they're. I think when they say they're going to put crypto in, maybe a character in the game might be able to hold his money in Bitcoin. That's probably about the best we're going to be able to hope for. I don't think there's going to be a marketplace where you can buy GTA stuff directly through the company through Bitcoin.
Not without them selling it to you. Yeah, making 100% of the money, let alone a 5% marketplace fee. No, they want 100%.
Yeah, and would you want to spend Bitcoin on Grand Theft Auto stuff? I mean,
if it's
does that sound
like
very
November,
smart?
if it's like November 21, I have trouble taking profit sometimes.
Or it's like, I don't know, May 2025, it may be pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
So, but I don't think over this next year, you're going to want to be spending your Bitcoin. I think
Good
that's a doofus move. So, I don't look, I think this is kind of an interesting story because it got leaked. I'm with Matty B. Congratulations to the kid for getting on the FBI most wanted list. Great job there.
Bullish.
Hey, even I haven't done that yet. I don't think. I don't know. FBI, am I on your list? I don't know. Tell me. But yeah, so I think it's an interesting, it's kind of a quirky little story. But we'll see. You guys know I don't really play Grand Theft Auto. I mean, if I'm gonna do coke and and hookers, I guess I'm gonna stick that probably in the past. I'm not gonna want to do that.
Thank you for going there.
That's what the game's about. Isn't that what the game's about?
I try to say ladies of the night. I was trying to be respectful here, but
well.
I mean, I say CIA, hire this kid. Just whoever, or I guess it'd be MI6 or CIA, kidnap him and put him. No, I'm just kidding. Don't kidnap him. No. All right, that is all we got time for, and it looks like Matty B narrowly edged out Ben. It's 100% for the piano.
Congratulations.
You set the tone. It was that. It was the score that you did for us.
No pun intended. Set the tone.
Set the tone. Feel free, like Tone Loke, drop it and give us some knowledge here, please.
Well, I guess I'll finish with maybe a little bit of a song there, DZ. You got to give it to DZ for hosting all these fabulous events for us. Well, folks, crypto is a kooky place to be right now. You got to be careful. There's lots of bad actors out there trying to come and get your crypto. But we are the lucky ones, my friends. We are the early adopters, some earlier than others. But this is your Bitcoin story, and you will be telling it for the rest of your life. So make it a good one with informed decisions. Use your logic. Nothing's easy. If it was, everyone would be doing it, but they're not yet.
Like that.
So remember, folks, no matter how dark the days get, we'll look back at them and say, my friends, those were the good old days.
All right. Love it. Ended with the flourish. Write your own Bitcoin story. Be the hero, not the villain. And that's all we got time for today, BitSquad. Until next time, easy out.